All right. All right, good evening, folks, or actually good morning here in Los Angeles. You're watching the sun come up behind me. Welcome to RenManMusicAndBusiness.com. My name is Steve Rennie, and I am the Ren Man. And I run this little website to help young artists and music professionals who are looking to learn something about this music business. I'm looking to help them find their way around. If you haven't noticed, folks, it's getting warm out. Spring is in the air, and that means summer concert season is just around the corner. We've got lots of folks out here this past weekend and the weekend coming up at Coachella and then Stagecoach the weekend after. So we got concert, touring, all of those things on our mind today. And if you're looking to learn this business, there's a couple things you need to know. One, if you're looking to build a live touring business and you're playing out at Coachella, you probably already have a manager and an agent and a label to help you do that. But if you're a brand new band or you're an indie artist that's just trying to build a touring business, it's not so easy without those folks involved. But there is some good news for you. There's some great tools out there to help you book that first gig and book that first tour. And one of those places is a website called indieonthemove.com. Today we have with us the founder and the visionary behind it. His name is Kyle Weber, and we have him with us right now. Hey, Kyle, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Steve. How are you?
Great, great, great. So lots of people are out there trying to learn this business, Kyle. Still, you've been at it a while, assisting and helping people do that. Real quick, show the people a little bit of brief overview of the website. And then I want to talk in particular about a new service that you guys are offering that takes it a step beyond all the artists doing the work. You give them a little help. So take it away.
Cool. Yeah, so you should see the website here to my left. So we offer a whole lot of features, as you kind of mentioned. I mean, the core of what we do is a music venues database that connects performers, managers, agents, labels, all of those people with venues all throughout the U.S. We provide all of the right contact info and all of the specs that people would need to set up shows at those places. So you can see from the homepage of the site, there basically are kind of two options that you can explore nowadays. Excuse me, there's the free option, which you kind of go in and you can have a look here at some of the features that we do offer for free. Again, it's a music venue database core, but from there we offer a handful of other stuff. So we've got some quick pitch emailing, which is basically a way to kind of streamline the process of getting all of those pitches out. We have a college and universities directory, we have a bands directory, we have show listings, we have band listings, we have festivals, press, radio, media, classifieds, blah, blah, blah. You name it, we've got a whole lot of stuff here. So you can go in, if you know what you're doing with this stuff, you can take advantage of it, you can go after it. We've got all of the resources. But there's a lot of people out there that are either just starting out, or maybe some people that have been at it for a little while and they need to kind of revamp things, or they have questions and you want some assistance. And so that's kind of where the other option would come into play here, which we call our pro services. So as you can see, we kind of offer a couple of different tiers here, but kind of the breakdown is as such. Our DIT campaigns, which stands for Do It Together, basically entails three parts. So the first part of which is a general just consultation and planning phase. So that would be us on the phone, talking strategies, tactics, looking at what you want to do, where you want to go, and putting together an effective plan. And once we kind of discussed all of that stuff, the basics, then we would dive a little bit more in depth into the presentation itself. So obviously the biggest element there is going to be the pitch going out to talent buyers. You want to make sure that you are representing yourself in a good fashion, providing them with all of the information that they want, make it seamless, make it easy. So we would kind of discuss what you have already, and we would put together a presentation that is going to achieve that. From there, then we would dive into the online presence. Your social media, your official website, all of that. Like to make sure that that is representing you in a good fashion as well. And then from there, lastly, we would discuss any sort of promotional ideas that either you guys are already executing, possibly some things you haven't considered, so that we can make sure at the end we have kind of the full package put together before we ever even go after the venues. From there, I then take all of that information. I put together that final pitch, put together any sort of itinerary or list of markets that you would be looking at for the tour, and I send that back to the client for their approval. From there, once the client is happy, I can then basically take all of that information, or the pitch itself specifically, and I can deliver it to appropriate music venues in all of your target markets, at venues that fit what you do, and basically save you the time, effort, and energy that would go into not only emailing, but doing all of the affiliated market research, which obviously, and I'm sure you know, Steve, the more cities you try to book, the more markets you're looking at, the more work it is.
Yeah, what I love about what you're doing here is that if you were booking a tour and you had a manager and an agent, what would happen is the manager would start that conversation about where you want to play, what cities, what kind of venues you might want to be looking at, make sure you have the right roadmap for what you want to do, and then your agent would go out and be pitching those dates. Now, obviously, you're not an agent. I want to make that clear. You're clearly not in that business, correct?
Right. I mean, ultimately, we're a consultant.
Oops.
With the means to streamline the process, because we have a database of information that allows artists to do it themselves. And so basically, we just empower them to do it themselves more efficiently and more effectively.
Okay, and how much would it cost somebody? I know lots of indie artists they don't have a lot of money, obviously. And touring in the early days is not necessarily a moneymaker. In many cases, it's not a moneymaker at all. How much does it charge? How much do you charge a band or an artist for these DIT services?
Well, I will get to that. I do want to just let people know that within the services, I kind of outlined the first two parts of it, but then ultimately there is a third part. So once I deliver,
why don't you pop yourself up big so we can see you there, Kyle?
Okay, cool. Let me see.
See your smiling mug.
How to do this? All right, stop sharing.
There you go.
Cool. So yeah, once we get that pitch out to the venues that fit what you do according to the itinerary, ultimately I turn the booking roll back over to the client or somebody in their team. But if there are any markets that you don't land that show on the first go around, sometimes it takes more than just one email. Sometimes it's two emails. Sometimes it's two emails and a phone call. There is more that goes into it. We can ultimately help to facilitate the first round of email follow-ups within the campaign as well, repitch the venues that do not respond the first time around, and remind them that, hey, I am still coming through town. I am still looking for this show, so that we can create as many possible leads that would work out.
Yeah.
But as far as the pricing goes, and I'll just use, as I mentioned, there are a couple of options up here, but I'm just going to use a 10 market campaign from the site as an example. So 10 markets is $250. That's broken into two payments, though. First payment of which is $150. That would go towards that initial consultation, the pitch, the website, the market ideas, the tour routing, and pretty much anything else that you want to address within that call as it relates to your tour or touring in general. And, again, promotion, strategies, tactics, all things that we would cover within that phone call. And then from there, once I put together the presentation and we're ready to roll, it is $10 per market that we would send that email out to. And a market is a city and the surrounding area. So, LA would be a market, San Francisco would be a market, Chicago would be a market. Only exceptions to that $10 price point, though, are New York and LA, which are $15 as opposed to $10. Obviously, not a huge difference, and that's kind of where we get the second half of that payment. So 10 times 10, 100, 100 plus 150, 250, hence the total for a 10 market campaign. But actually, the nice thing about the campaigns we run is that you don't commit to any number of markets up front. You don't commit to any specific markets up front. You only commit to one part of the process at a time. So initially, that's the phone call. We put together the plan, the presentation. We talk about all of the stuff that we want to cover. And then from there, ultimately, you get to decide if you want me to help you with all of that busy work, getting that pitch out, or if you want to do it on your end. Obviously, you do it on your end. You can take what I put together for you and run with it. That's free, right? You just pay me for the consultation and the pitch. But if you want my assistance, that's where the $10 per market comes in. And again, it does become quite a time-consuming process. And especially once you're talking about independent artists that are already wearing more than enough hats, sometimes it's nice to have somebody take care of that for you.
Well, I can. Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just say, as a manager and looking, and understanding how difficult it is to put together tours, it sounds like an invaluable service because it's so important to hang out with smarter, more talented, more experienced people than yourself. For you folks that don't know, Kyle started off as a musician. That's how this business came about. So he knows about what he's talking about.
Actually.
Huh?
And still am a musician.
I get scolded on that frequently, Kyle, when I refer to people as former musicians. I suppose I should know better. If somebody referred to me as a former golfer, I'd be upset too. So, well, I want to thank you for taking the time. You're doing God's work out there for independent artists, Kyle. And I want to just compliment you. You've been at it how many years now? 3-4 years?
I guess alpha phase, yeah, about 3 or 4. But I mean, we started this venture in 2008, so we've been at it for a while, and we're starting to see some really good traction here, and it's been really cool to be able to help a whole lot of people over the years. I just want to encourage everybody, if anybody does have any questions, about this service or anything else that we button on the bottom of every single page of the site, click that, send me an email. It comes right to me. I will get back to you as quickly as possible.
Great stuff. Kyle, thanks so much for joining us here this morning, and I wish you the best of luck, and let's keep in touch, my friend.
Sounds great, Steve. I'll talk
All righty.
to you soon.
All right, folks, there it is. If you're looking to get some tips on touring, I hope you'll check out, we got a little website that we started called Renman Music and Business. This week, I'll show it to you right now. You can find all kinds of tips and tricks and advice from some of the top touring professionals around. We also have a little Renman U course where you can learn all about touring. I'll talk to you more about that later. But anyway, I want to thank you for joining us here this morning. Hope you got some information here, and I hope you're out there dreaming and doing. And when you want to dream about doing that first tour, I hope you'll check out our friends at IndieOnTheMove.com. Thanks to Kyle Weber today. See you later, folks.